So to get the Dutch braid, when you're doing it yourself, if you want to get this braid that kind of sits up, you have to take these pieces and they go underneath.
Yes, instead of over.
Pops it up instead of over. Oh my gosh, you have such thick, beautiful
That's
hair.
yes, but that's the thing. That's why it's so hard to braid it.
And so then the other thing I do sometimes too is once I get the piece, I'll kind of like pull it to try to smooth it out, and then that makes it easier to kind of tighten up too.
Ah, okay.
You grab the pieces from the side.
Yeah.
They don't have to be big pieces. You want to get them, you know,
Oh, yeah, that's my problem
kind
too.
of smaller, because then you're able to, I don't know, it just makes the braid look better. And like none of them should be too much that you're grabbing on any one time. Feel how I'm kind of like pulling it smooth as I'm going? Can you kind of feel that?
Yes.
I'm kind of like smoothing it out, and then as I'm getting down here, I want it to be close to your head. So I'm kind of pulling it tight down here so that it stays close to your head and doesn't come like way off and get loose. So when you're doing it yourself, that's another thing that can make it a little too loose, is if you're holding it way far out from your head while you're braiding it, instead of kind of like keeping it close in and making sure you're pulling these pieces.
Gotcha. I think that's what I was doing wrong.
Sometimes I do that on my own hair and then I have to start it over too.
Why is that? Because it's just hard to get close,
Just
right?
because it's easier on your own hair, like it's harder on your own hair to like hold it super close.
Why is that? Because of the way
Just
it's
'cause the
angled,
angle,
right?
I think, that you're at.
Yes. I think that's what was happening with me.
And often by the time like I get to this point, like my arms are starting to get tired and I want to be done, and so then I get kind of lazy about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, it's an arm workout. What do you do to like start at the top?
Okay, so at the top, I want kind of a triangle here.
Ah, okay.
So I kind of just do this. And then that starts me out with a triangle, because then that's going to help angle where the braid goes.
Ah, okay.
So that's kind of...
That's good to know. I didn't know that either. I think I was making it a square.
And so then I just start with one. Some people will start with two if they want it to, like, with your hair being so thick, you don't need to, but like with really fine hair, you might actually do two things before you start picking the hair up, because that actually will help it be a little bit tighter. But because your hair is so thick and you have the curl in it, that's going to help it kind of grab.
Ah, okay.
You don't really need to do that.
So you could just start with one.
Yeah, so like just kind of going like that, and then you start picking up pieces.
And it seems like the thickness that you get is just about the same as when you start with what you started.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so then like here, you know, here it's a little bit thinner because it's right at the temple, and like everybody has a little bit thinner hair here.
Those baby hairs.
Mm-hmm, those baby hairs, so it's going to be a little thinner there, but overall it's just kind of this, you know.
Hair-wise, it looks like about an inch worth.
And as you get further down in the braid, you can make them a little bit larger because the braid itself gets larger, right? So it can support that, and it makes sense.
Okay, that's good to know.
Right, but even still down low, it's like not that much bigger. Because it just makes it look, I don't know, prettier.
Clunkier. If you do too big, it starts to look clunky at the bottom, right?
And you don't have as many twists, like it's not as pretty of a braid. If you pick up super thick hair, and then you maybe only have 5 or 6 twists in it, versus like smaller, you get more
of a look.
More braid, and then it just looks a lot better.
Ah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I see what you're saying. So start at a triangle. Don't grab too much hair to thread at, try to keep the hair strands even.
Right. And then as you go, kind of smooth the pieces out as you pick them up. And then when you twist them in, that's when you kind of pull it a little tighter and keep it close to your head.
That was the other big tip. You gotta keep it close to your head, which is hard on your own head, but
once you practice it a little bit, it'll get a lot easier. You know, like the first few times you do it, it might be really challenging. But as you start to practice it, it'll get a lot easier.
Do you ever take break? Is there a way to take a break in between braid, like not in between braids, but in the middle of a braid if your hands are getting tired? Because I know that's like the struggle, right?
Not really. Not really a good way that I have found. Because I've had that thought before where it's like, oh, if I could just stop for a minute, my arms are tired of being like up above my head.
But then it like ruins the braid, right? Like
It gets loose.
Yeah, you lose it. You lose the braid is what I was gonna say.
The other reason to kind of also keep pretty consistent and also not too thick pieces as you're picking them up is it helps keep all these different strands themselves, the 3 strands themselves, kind of equal. And then that way it looks better when you get to the bottom of the braid too.
Right. That was something I noticed too. I was getting like a lot of uneven. Like one was really thick and then the other one was really thin.
And you know, as you're going, if you get like halfway through and you realize, oh, this one is really thin, then the next time you pick up for it, pick up just a little bit more. So like you can correct that as you go.
Okay.
You just want to kind of be aware of that, and the more consistent you can be, the better it is.
Wow, you like breezed right through that. I'm impressed. When you were like, oh, it shouldn't take me long, because it took me over half an hour. I'm like, jeez.
There you go.
Yay, awesome.
And now you have super cute braids.
Oh, you're the best.
I love
Thank
it.
you. Thank you. Thank you. The final product.